Environment. Various issues afflict the environment, including the depletion of the ozone layer, acid rain, and desertification. But above all, global warming is expected to have the most far-reaching and damaging consequences. The impact of global warming is immeasurable. Observable consequences include the disappearance of animal habits due to the melting of Arctic ice and sinking of islands such as Tuvalu in the South Pacific. Thankfully, there is growing consensus that this phenomenon is caused by a rapid increase in greenhouse gas emissions since the Industrial Revolution, since the cause of excess heat being trapped on the Earth's surface is understood. It is possible to predict future impacts more accurately. As we know, as we now know the diverse and future impacts of global warming, it is critical to task swift mitigation action, including increasing the use of renewable energy such as solar power and to improve housing, water, hygiene, and waste management to adapt to the inevitable future consequences. Uh, afflict. Other poor countries are afflicted by corruption, depletion. I wonder what's causing the depletion of my money. I love tuna sashimi, but it's getting more and more expensive because overfishing over the last few years has depleted the tuna pollution. Is it true that you should only charge your phone when the battery is fully depleted? Awesome. I read in the newspaper that the massive hole in the ozone layer over Atlantica is gradually becoming smaller. Layer. How many layers should a proper lasagna have? This scientist is this scientist is denying the harmful effects of acid rain, but he has no evidence to support his claims. The real acid test for our products is how well they sell. I don't really like the acidity of this coffee. Desertification. It's so green here that it's hard to believe that desertification might be an issue in a few years. I can't believe you deserted me when I needed you the most. The restaurant was completely deserted when I visited last time. Above all, above all, we need to remember to focus on our game plan rather than react to what our opponents to do. Global warming. Do you think all this rain is due to global warming? Disappearance. Your disappearance was pretty sudden, so we were a bit worried. This watch is luxurious not only in appearance but also craftsmanship. I saw my teacher walking with a woman who appeared to be his girlfriend, so I secretly followed them. Oh my god, it appears my YouTube account has been permanently deleted. Melting. You may think the melting point and freezing point of a substance are the same, but sometimes they are not. I wish they made ice cream that didn't melt. I eat too slowly. Let's microwave this pizza a bit to melt the cheese. I don't know why, but my heart melts every time I see my grandma. Is it okay to use melted butter instead of vegetable oil? Arctic. I can't believe that Arctic foxes don't start to shiver until the temperature goes below. Sink. I think the scene where the ship sinks is the best part of Titanic. At the time, I didn't understand why she gave me that advice, but it's slowly sinking in now. Walking in a sink or swim environment causes me a lot of stress, but this is kind of workplace offers many learning opportunities as well. Island. If you could only take three things, what would you take with you to a deserted island? Pacific. What do you think of my idea to swim across the Pacific to attempt a Guinness World Record? There are some useful phrases I often use to pacify, irate customers. Thankfully, thankfully, the girl I have a crush on hasn't been taken yet. I'm thankful to my parents for everything they've done for me. Greenhouse. I want to build a greenhouse in my backyard, but I don't think there's enough space here. There. Gas. Why does inhaling helium gas change your voice? Step on the gas. On the gas. Emission. This report says that carpooling just once a week can reduce our carbon emission by 15%. The radiation emitted from cell phones and computers is very small, so I don't think it will damage our health. Excess. Charging $200 for just 1 kilogram of excess baggage is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Sometimes I feel like Japanese customer service is a bit Excessive. I think I deserve a promotion because I constantly exceed expectations. Heat. I'm going to burn if I don't get out of this heat soon. They are having a heated debate about whether or not cash should be abolished. To wrap, sorry, I'm running a bit late because I was trapped in a conversation that I couldn't get out of. Swift. I appreciate your swift reply. Renewable. There are actually a lot of companies that invest in renewable energy just for the sake of getting grants from the government. This working holiday visa is for a maximum of 12 months and is not renewable. What types of identification should I bring to renew my membership? Solar. Is it possible to power a household entirely by solar power? Power. The German public remains strongly opposite to nuclear power. Excuse me, do you guys have power outlets here? I really want to employ you at our company, but I just don't have the power to make that. Hygiene. I can't share a room with somebody that has poor personal hygiene. Waste. Going paperless will significantly reduce the amount of waste that our company produces. This is a waste of time. You should stop wasting your money on drinking every night. Nick got so wasted last night that he ended up sleeping on the street. Adapt. My daughter was struggling to adapt to her new school at first, but she's fine now. With the increasing number of devastating disasters, it's difficult to know where we should direct our attention. Which crises most concern you? The ecological disaster that I find most horrific is the pollution generated by the use of fossil fuels. As you may know, the deterioration of air quality is closely linked to rising global temperatures. This climate change manifests itself in a myriad of damaging environmental phenomena, such as drought, storms of increased severity, erosion, and ecosystem destruction. What do you think is the quickest way to mitigate these impacts? A great start would be to increase the use of alternative power sources. We also need to reduce activities that are exerting, exer, exer, exacerbating these disasters, such as the contamination of waterways due to deforestation and discarding of hazardous waste. Devastating crisis, concern, ecological, pollution, fossil, deterioration, rising, manifest, damaging, drought, storm. Australia is going through a severe drought this year. Erosion, ecosystem, destruction, mitigate, alternative, contamination, deforestation, discard, hazardous,